welcome to another edition of Hashtag Comedy TV, the comedy show that takes a serious look at the news around us. My name is Mr. C, and I'm going to be your host for the next hour or so. With highs of 36 bomber degrees, Friday was the hottest day of the year so far. That's hotter than Dubai, hotter than the Caribbean, Tarated. We've got loads to get through, but before as we do, here's a reminder that this here, Hashtag Comedy TV, is your platform, and we appreciate your support. So if you want to get involved, please like, subscribe, follow, and share. Right, that's the housekeeping done. On with the show. So let's find out what these guys have done to cope with the hot weather. Slim, you're looking like Gandhi there. What have you been up to this week, bruv?
My brother, it's hot as hell, man. I had to get out the little cottons, you know what I mean? Little Linny out here, man. It's hot like a bitch. I just been working, bro. But I know a lot of people this week hit the coast. They went to the beach, man. Take a look at this.
Vai tomar no cu, caralho! Pra se fuder, porra! Porra!
Big man, that has happened, I think, to every single man at one point in his life. Where you see a nice thing and you're going to look and somebody just step in the way. And it is usually someone big. No one ever, Chrissa, steps in the way of the thing you was looking at.
It's so true. So true. Quincy,
it's always a big thing.
Quincy, you've been out and about this week. What's caught your eyes, son?
What's caught my eyes, I'll tell you, the amount of Richards on the roads, mate, and as in Richard III's. I'm just glad I'm not driving at the current moment, because I would have crashed my car, right? Because I literally was walking into lampposts like this dickhead here. Right, so like, it's obviously he's seen somebody, he's caught the eye, you know what I mean? Classic case. There you go, son. And the worst thing about it,
gone.
Yeah, a different kind of white stuff has got all over his face.
Hold on, I've got to go back. I've got to get some more milk. I've got to get some more milk. Hey, listen, that's happened to all of us, man. That's happened to all of us. Be honest, man. You know what I mean? Especially when you're driving. What? Come on now. Kane, what about yourself?
He's got to go home and explain to his wife why you smell like stale milk. Like, the whole of his clothes. Mole up. What are you going to tell her?
Yeah. And you got a big bump on your face.
Yeah.
Big lip on your head. You have to tell her that someone robbed you of your milk. Someone lick you down in the street, teeth the milk. That's the only thing you can tell her.
You got robbed by a crackhead. What's caught your eye this week, though, Kane?
I'm not like none of you nasty man. Yeah, I'm a family man. So this week, this is what I've been doing.
Whatever. Oh, man, no. Boss picture.
Raps.
No, man. Come on.
That's the picture. Now, that's the one that hangs in the hallway, bro.
Yeah, that's the one.
Come on.
Yeah, man. That's
the money shot.
But I'm not going to lie to you.
You know what's beautiful?
Yeah.
Go on, Slim. What's beautiful?
You know when you got a son and sons and they got that age gap. It's nice, you know, because little man's aware that he's got big brothers. So no matter where you go, listen, you remember people say, don't let me get my brothers. And they think the brother's like 1 or 2 years older. No, man, these are full-grown men that's coming for you. So, man. Man, that picture's just wicked. You understand? That's a wicked picture. Man. Yeah.
No, I had that as well, because my brothers are around about 20 years older than me. But when they found out that my brothers didn't live in this country, it didn't stop me from getting beat up.
Because you keep wearing shirts that look like playing cards. That's why. I'm on there looking for a full house.
Yeah.
Mr. Weird. Me win.
You start with your nonsense already, Mr. Brown, yeah?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was waiting for someone to pick you up and wave you like a checkered flag.
You guys have got no behavior, none at all, man. Anyway, listen, that was beautiful. But for this family on a day out in Southend, things didn't turn out how they hoped. Have a look at this.
I know. What's she saying?
Me! Careful. If I hit you, I ain't gonna smack him.
Not what you expect on a family day out.
Wow.
Even more shocking, perhaps, is the fact that the racist woman in the video is former EastEnders actress Katie Jarvis. Here to tell us more is the lady on the receiving end of that abuse, Michelle Antonio. Michelle, welcome to the show. How you doing, darling?
Michelle. Morning.
Thank you for joining us, love. Oh, man, don't worry, you're with family and friends, man.
All right with you.
Man. Come on, man. You're with family. Relax yourself, man. Don't worry. You're safe with we now.
Yeah. And we like Coronation Street.
Yeah.
Now, look, sorry to have to replay that video for you, but we just wanted our videos to see what you had gone through. Absolutely shocking. Tell us what happened that led up to those scenes, please. Tell us in your own words.
That's briefly, I was sitting down, my back was towards, so there's a pub, there's a cafe, there's a barrier. My back was here. I heard felt someone lean over and said they're taking the chair. My daughter said, "You can't take the chair. There's 4 of us." She said to me, I said, "You can't take the chair," because she was putting the chair. Then she said, "Why being aggressive?" I said, "I'm not being aggressive. If I was, you would know." And then it happened all so fast. She pushed my daughter. My daughter threw a drink and she pushed her. There was a little altercation. Then my daughter threw a drink at her and it just went haywire from there. Then the police came. Well, that was the incident anyway.
Wow.
Boy. No, man, I'm sorry that you had to go through that.
I need to say.
Oh, and I forgot to add the racist remarks she was saying. Black lives don't matter anyway. You dirty black gun. It was her mouth was vulgar. But the thing was, after the incident, the security from the pub came to me and said, "Do you know who it is?" and showed me a picture. I said, "I don't know who she is," whatever. And then he was informing me the whole day she was terrorizing anyone that wasn't white.
Wow.
Was that just her, or was it the whole clique she was with?
Well, I saw her with that girl in the tight that with the top and the bottom. Apparently, she was spitting and stuff. But because we was in the altercation, I didn't acknowledge that. And there was a gentleman as well, and he was trying to teeth my daughter's shoe. It was just crazy. But I saw 3 of them. But from speaking to other people that was there, apparently there was a load of them, and throughout the day, they was terrorizing people, spitting in people's faces, saying words that nobody even wants to repeat out of their mouth.
Wow. So hold on. So wait. Sorry. So basically, when we saw the report, because when you watch the clip, it just looks like 2 groups of people fighting. It looks like mostly black women, and it looks like you're against the white girls. That's how it looked in the report. So it threw everybody, because that's not what happened at all.
No. The recording was just from one bit, but she was with a group of people.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing the girl in the tie-dye, because another witness said to me that the police needs to look for that girl in the tie-dye because she was doing a lot as well. But the thing is, when the girl in the tie-dye, she flagged the police down, and when the police came, they ran off.
Right.
Oh.
She goes, she wants me done for assault, and then she ran off. So I was like, you need to go and get her, because she's the one that needs to be arrested. So yeah, that was that.
Slim, you had a question.
Did the police take her away?
Not in front of me. Not that I saw. I did ask them to go and find her. I heard on the newspaper that she was arrested, but they never said anything to me about it. On Tuesday, I received a call and said that she had been arrested, but I don't know for sure if that's the truth, because media.
Yeah. Well, she's messed up her career. I tell you that now. So no matter what, if she don't even go court for it, she's messed up her career. You can't. They're the worst things to say to a black person right now.
Come on now.
And you're not getting away with it right now. Trust me. So
I'm not keep saying that she's a celebrity. She's a celebrity. She's a celebrity. She's a celebrity.
Yeah. Mediocre. The mediocre celebrities always say that shit. No one with real talent tells people, I'm this, I'm that. Nobody. Nobody. I would cringe if anybody with me tried that, because that's not me. I'm good at maybe what I do, but I grow like the rest of you. I'm not no better. You should have box off her face for it. Do you know what I mean?
No, that's not my characteristics. For me, it was just like you've assaulted my daughter. You've assaulted my daughter. I mean, afterwards, I was like, my gosh, what happened there? Like, because that is just not my characteristic. Like, it's just I didn't like the fact afterwards that she drawed me out, but it is what it is.
Listen, I've got to be honest.
Protecting your child.
Yeah,
the first time I heard,
all of us are parents. All of us.
The first time I heard that what had happened, and I heard that there was racist abuse, and then I heard that she had actually touched your daughter, and my head just exploded, because I knew that the thump that you probably give the woman, her head still don't come down yet. Because I'm saying the uppercut you must have given that woman. Put her hand on your child. I don't know how you held it together. I don't know how you're not in a police cell right now, because I know for us as black people, that's the worst thing you can do.
That's what I kept on thinking. That I said it to the police officer. I said, if it was the other way around, I'd be in the police. If I was in London, I would have been in the police van. Like, go and get the girl. She's the one. And then all these witnesses came. You see the woman in the yellow boob tube?
I didn't notice.
She keeps saying there was 5.
I know.
She's the owner of the pub. She's part of the pub. She's nothing to do with me. She's part of the pub. The woman in the yellow top and her husband's bringing her back. They're the pub owners.
So she was fighting your corner as well.
Yeah, because she spat in the doorman's face apparently before that. The whole day she was running up and down trying to get into pubs. They weren't letting her in, and she was abusing them.
So why did they allow her?
Sorry,
why did they allow her, if she was carrying on with that behaviour, to stay on the premises? That's what I don't understand.
Very good question.
I like the eyes.
This is my point.
I like the eyes.
This is my point.
Like the eyes.
Oh, thank you. This is my point. I said to the security man, why did you just leave her? Why did you just leave her? Why did you just leave her to run up and down? You're a security officer. Like, that's not what you do. Like, I do security. Like, you get that person out of the way, off the road. I don't know. Right. I don't understand it at all. I don't understand it.
Quincy,
can I just say, the eyes you just gave, that was the same look probably when you realised that was like, did this bitch?
Everybody says, do you know what? I didn't even think. My child. I didn't even think of that. It's afterwards when I sat down, I said, really, like, whoa, like, she obviously just really saw the back of me, because people don't usually be aggressive to me because my face is straight and I look like I don't play, so nobody harasses me.
But on the real, I do want to ask you, in this current climate where we are promoting Black self-love, the Black Lives Matter movement, what was the interaction with the police, with you, and how have they dealt with you after the incident? Look at the eyes now. This motherfucker here.
They were supposed to phone me. They were supposed to call me the next day. They didn't. I spoke to Paul. Hi, Paul. Thank you. Done a video. Spoke to Paul. Then we said we'd do a video. They rang me on Tuesday morning when it went viral because that's when we started getting calls. I saw something. I saw something. I saw something. I'm like, oh my gosh, no. And then they rang and said, did someone ring me? He said, no. And he apologized for that. He said, someone's going to ring me. What's the best time? He said, after 6 weeks holiday. I've got the kids. And then he said, have I got any witnesses information to email them to him? Done all of that on Tuesday.
Nothing.
So you must
still waiting to hear from someone.
Look, you mentioned Paul, so I think it's a good time for us to bring in social commentator Paul McKenzie onto the show. Let's have a round of applause for Paul. Welcome, Paul. Thank you for joining us.
How you doing, guys?
We're good, man. We're good, man. Well, I like your background, Paul, man. It looks good, man.
You like that, innit?
Yeah, man. Nice. So listen, Paul, you've got a phone call from Michelle. Tell us your thoughts on how the media portrayed the show, the story, I should say. Sorry.
Well, let me see. How can I start it? Yeah. Changing the narrative, in my opinion, where it comes to the media, is what we should be addressing as a community, because I think that we are very one-sided the way we're portrayed in the media. And so when I met up with Michelle, we actually, the strangest story is we met on the Sunday to do the video, and we sat down and had a conversation about the impact on her actual lifestyle if we did the video, because she works in the childcare industry. So we had a really in-depth conversation about, shall we do this video? You know, we have to change the narrative, but you have to understand that once you do that, there's going to be an impact on your life. And so we decided not to do the video, and literally went home. And then I think it was a day later, Michelle rang back, or I rang her and I said, you know what? We need to do this because we need to straighten the narrative out. And the way we're going to tell the story is we're going to tell the story from the side that people are not assuming is the truth. Because we knew the media was going to run that image there, which almost made it look as if she was justified to be cussing them. Because the way they made it look was like, you know, if anybody was attacked by 5, quote, black people, it's almost justifiable to start shouting that abuse because it looks one-sided. But when we said, okay, let's get together and tell the story about the side of the video that nobody saw, the backstory, what happened before, you know, what took place before that actual fight scene. So we said, okay, let's do it. Michelle drove all the way down. She longed me out all day. I'm coming. But I knew deep inside she was considering whether or not to actually turn up because of the impact of the video, because she knows I don't play. If I'm going to do a video, I'm going to do it right, and I'm not going to play because I'm going to sit on the desks of the people that listen. And my point is, and I'll get back to the point of the people that listen, right? So anyway, so I managed to give her enough confidence. She turns up, I think it's about 9 o'clock at night. By this time, I'm like, you're having a laugh. It was about anything. And then we sat down.
She was getting her hair done. She was getting her hair braided, bro. You should have known better.
Listen, now
once you know you're getting a black woman on video, you know she's getting her hair done, Paul.
She wasn't. She turned up with a driver and everything. I said, right. Anyway, so she turned up and we said, okay, you know what we do is we just sit down and then follow my lead. And then we'll make this into the full narrative of what took place that day. So just follow my lead. And we sat there literally, by the time she met, she was gone in 10 minutes. And because obviously her side of the story was important because we knew that the media would paint a different picture. And, you know, the initial image of, what's her face, Jarvis, hurling that abuse and everything, that's really easy to cover up. It's really easy. It would have taken the media about a week to spin 1 or 2 more stories, and then we would have all said, oh, it's just a typical black family attacking somebody else. But I said, no, we're not going to do this. We're going to make something that goes viral, that explains the truth, and has actually sat on the desk of the people in the mainstream media, because I've got really strong contacts with them, and they've actually seen the video. So that was the goal, was to straighten and correct the narrative using the platform that we have. And we done that. And we done that. And we need to do that. Yeah.
Sorry, Paul, I was just going to ask you, you said it sat on their desk. Have they actually used it though? Are they going to use it?
Well, they're not. You see, the thing is, if you know how the media works, they have their narrative, they have their set programs, you know, and when something conflicts with that set program, they'd prefer to drop it, other than correct the narrative, especially if the narrative now comes out and Michelle is sat there in the Sun newspaper telling her side of the story. Nobody really wants that story. Nobody, they'd prefer to actually leave it open-ended.
So what can we do as a community to help to help this story to be told? How can we change the narrative then, Paul? What can we do?
Okay, well, come on, we're walking around with these, right? Yeah? And I've said this years ago, and me and Quincy had a really in-depth conversation about this, right? When we see videos that go viral, always ask what the backstory was. Always do your own investigation. Find the people. Ask them what happened 2 minutes before you press the record button. Because us as a people and as a community, we're very reactive. And when we see, you know, obviously we're reactive around food videos. We love those. Those go viral. But the number 2 viral video is the one that seems as if we are perpetrating this victimhood. And we got to stop this, because we, you know, in order for the narrative to be corrected, we have to all become journalists. You know, if you turn up to a scene, like I saw a video the other day, and the police are seemingly harassing somebody, find out what the backstory is. You know, don't just cut the video in there. Because I saw this particular video, and when the policeman pulled out the zombie knife, everybody went quiet. Everybody went quiet. So we have to address the backstory, and that's what the mainstream media does. It looks for the backstory, and with the backstory, you can build anything you want, as long as you've got the foundations of what really took place. So that's what we need to do.
Michelle,
that's what they're doing with.
Sorry, Quince. Michelle, I just want to find out what do you want for your family? What kind of justice do you want for your family? What are you looking for?
I'm looking for prosecution. She needs to be dealt with. It's not even something she's just firstly done. Like, it's disgusting behavior. They need to be dealing, and people need to be held accountable for their actions and it being dealt with. But like, it just seems like there's more and more and more stuff going on out there. I don't know, people's not reporting things. We as a community, we need to report things, you know, and follow things through. Like, I'd like some justice and to show an example, I guess, to others.
How has your life changed since the video has gone out and has gone viral? How's your life changed?
My phone don't stop ringing. I don't want to go outside because I don't know where I am at the moment. I'm still trying to get information. It's all still new. Anxiety when the kids go out, like worried about them, things like that. But I guess that just comes, you know, hopefully over time that will.
When you say phone's ringing, is it like friend? Oh my God, I see you on Facebook. I see you this. Or is it
I
more
didn't tell. No, I only just told my immediates, like my brothers and that, and so now it's like everyone. But the support's been really, really good, so I can't really complain. Yeah, the support's been good, and even people from Southend keep calling me.
You've had people.
See, that's what we spoke about.
Sorry.
That's what we spoke about. That's the most important thing.
The witnesses, they call me if I heard from the police. Sorry?
You said you've had calls from Southend, or people from Southend?
Yeah, from witnesses. So people that were witnesses. So they phone and checking on me, and have I heard from the police what's going on, etc., etc. You know, they're looking for the girl with the tie-dye suit because she just disappeared off the face of the earth. But so yeah, I'm getting good support.
Do you know? It'd be really good as well. Have you any chances of like any solicitors or lawyers representing you, anything like that?
I've been looking into that the whole weekend and this weekend. I'm hoping because it was the weekend, you know, people do need time to chill out. So by tomorrow, I'm hoping to have a legal representative and get some legal advice. So I'm on that at the moment.
Can I suggest one woman for you? She's really powerful. She's really good at cancelling people's careers. Rachel Riley. Yeah. Have you heard of her?
Rachel, no, I haven't. I haven't. No. No, I love this. No,
only you, Quincy. Only you.
Google her. Trust me. She's very good.
Thank you for the information. I will do that.
So, do you feel that the community has supported you through what you've gone through? Do you feel safe in your area? You feel that your neighbours or your community understands what you've been through? Are they there for you? What's your experience?
I haven't told my neighbours or nothing, but as I said, my friends, family, and people that I don't know, they send comments and etc. I mean, I'm never gonna feel safe. We do live in London, so.
What's your employers? Have your employers been in touch with you?
No, I'm self-employed at the moment, babe. No,
self-employed, yeah?
No. Yeah. I don't want to be doing the rat race.
No, I hear you 100%.
How is your children? Did any of them get injured? Did any of you got injured? And how are the girls? How are your daughters?
Just a few bruises on like 25 and 18.
Yeah, all right. But they're all good, yeah?
Yeah, they're good. They're good.
Well, you tell them that we're very proud of them, man. Because they backed the team, man. Very, very proud of them, man. We saw you all together, united as a family to deal with that terrible situation, man. And I felt proud. That's what I want to tell you, Michelle, man. I felt proud of you and your daughters and your family.
Yeah,
man.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I would hate to be your first date of any of your daughters, man.
Say it again.
I tell you, I hate to be that guy who goes on a date, their first date, and they step out of line.
You feel sorry for me. They security needs to show for me.
Have you seen this video?
I tell you one thing, the way yeah, man, of course. The way your daughters were defending it, there's a couple of men who are sliding back out of their DMs. Listen, Michelle, that's all we've got time for. It's absolute pleasure having you on the show, Michelle. And if you don't find a lawyer or anything, come back to us and we'll extend that out to our networks and we'll make sure we get somebody to represent you and your wonderful family. So all the best and thank you for joining us. Give Michelle a big round of applause, please, people.
Thank you very much.
So one of the driving forces behind creating a platform like this is so we can control our own narrative. And it's in situations like the reporting of the racist incident and the way the BBC's love off the N-word. Oh!
Covered in blood, and I guess from the angle of the car that had been driven deliberately at him.
Just to warn you, you're about to hear highly offensive language because as the men ran away, they hurled racial abuse, calling him.
I think that what Paul did and what Paul has been doing for the longest while is been changing that narrative, and it makes us, this platform here, even more important. And going back to what Paul was saying, like, he made me look at a few videos because we are naturally reactors towards videos, and it's always at certain parts. And if we go back to even down to the George Floyd, even though that it is cold-blooded what we sing, but even then, the investigation, they're going back to the history of what led up to that because they're trying to find something. So, and I think that what Paul did, especially in this case with Michelle's family, you know what I mean? It's like it was nice to hear because unfortunately I was shocked. You know what I mean? This is a woman who's been abusing people of color throughout the whole day, and if Paul didn't put it out there, we wouldn't have known because the Sun is not going to report that. The Daily Mail is not going to report that. So yeah, just well done, Paul.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Seriously.
Do you feel like a grass?
Bro, I've been grassing people up for years. Do you know what's really funny is when you turn when I turn up to protest meetings, and because of the work I do, you never quite tell who you pissed off. So it's almost like that's my name spelled incorrect. That's terrible. It's M small c. So you never quite know who you've affected by the work that you do. But in order to change the narrative, you can't be afraid of that. You can't be afraid to address county lines. You can't be afraid to address the fact that, you know, unless we become accountable as a community, all of these mainstream media platforms, they all have a remit. You know, if you speak to some of these journalists, I do a lot with RT television in Russia, and they love the stories here. They love the stories because it paints a different picture, and it's a very one-sided, one-dimensional view of the Black community in London or in the UK. So every time I talk to them, I say to them, you know, if this topic doesn't allow me to give two sides to the story, I'm not doing it. And we have to become those people that do it. When you guys stand on stage, you have to understand that you guys, you're the new world leaders. You're public speakers. So your craft has to be geared around changing that narrative in a humorous way. So everything you do, you have to understand that there isn't many people from our communities of color that get the opportunity to stand in front of 500-600 people, because that's the plan, is to actually detach that.
It's like some sort of black porn. Paul, what's your thoughts on the decision to use the word in this piece?
Okay, I'm going to go completely out of the box here with this word, because I'm a linguist. That's what I do, NLP. So I understand how words affect our state and our behavior. I personally believe, and I've done this a long time ago, is I removed all emotion to most of the racist words that I hear on a day-to-day basis. They're not triggers to me anymore. And I firmly believe, and this is me, is that the media uses triggers to evoke emotions. And so for me, I firmly believe that we have to get over ourselves. If somebody calls you the N-word, don't let it evoke that emotion. And then you'll see how quickly the media starts eradicating that kind of word, and they'll move on to more intellectual descriptions to get us triggered. Because that's all we do. Quincy said it right. Initially, he said that we're very reactive people. You know, we're very, if a group of white people were walking down the road and they've had a few, as they do, and they start calling out the N-word, what am I going to use? Am I going to go jail for 10 years for that? When I kick his face in, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going home to my family because I've learned how to take the emotion out of that. And I think that it will serve us as a people, because you have to understand, even in music right now, they're allowing that N-word to be used. So it becomes an unconscious trigger that we keep repeating to ourselves.
Good point. Kane, you had a question.
Paul, do you think that they should have used that word on the news?
I think did they use the word on the news, or was it the presupposition of the word?
No, they actually used the
word. The actual word.
Okay, so they used the word on the news, and that's what's created this debate here, this talk here.
Yes.
Do you see where I'm going with it, though? Because they know that the current climate that we're in now, we're triggered by words, we're triggered by images, we're triggered by one-sided videos. If we are going to grow as a people, and this is, you know, I live outside the box. I can't live in the box. I'm done with the box years ago. I'm fifth dimensional. Done with the box, yeah? If somebody tells me I can't do something, I'm going to do it. If somebody tells me a word is going to trigger an emotion in me, I'm going to tell you, no, it's not. Yeah? And that's why my whole stance is that we have to learn, because what you need to study is victimhood, and how triggers create trauma, and they just continue triggering. 400-500 years, these triggers have been triggered. We have to evolve from it. And I'm saying this, and you know, I might get some people come on and say, no, that's not right. But I'm telling you if you live in a society where you're triggered to action by a word that's controlled by the media, then you're doomed as a people.
Yeah, that means you don't really control your own narrative. Go on, Kane.
Right.
I think there's a little bit of miscommunication. So basically, what's happened is, Paul, they've on the news they said the actual word. The white presenter said the actual word, yeah. But before it, they made a disclaimer saying that you're gonna hear something offensive. But what they were doing was doing a direct report on what was said. Yeah, it was in the morning, and the reason why they said it was because the family of the boy who was run over, they gave them permission to use the word.
Yeah.
My issue with it is, this is my issue with it. I understand in certain contexts you can use that word in certain contexts, but on the news there was no need to use that word at that time of day.
Yeah, I agree.
Because
I agree.
If they'd called him the C word, they would never have used it ever. So to me, that word should never be used unless it's absolutely vital. I mean, if it's in court where they're reading out what was actually said, that's different. But now they're promoting it to nation where they're actually saying the word. Now it normalizes it for the 14, 15, 16-year-old who thinks it's okay. They can say it was on the news.
Okay, all right. I hear your point, and I don't think it's right because I think, thinking about it as a provocateur, I think that it was used deliberately, right? My point is this: they used it on the news, right? But yet you can go on YouTube this very minute and check out somebody like 6ix9ine, who has nearly 1 billion views, chanting the same word, because the young people don't watch the news. They're not business with the news. They get their information from their role models, quote role models or influencers. Now, using it on the news for me is an agenda. Using it on social media platforms that get 500 million views is an even bigger agenda. Yeah, and it's an agenda that seeps into the unconscious mind without you even knowing it. So if we're going to change one, we have to go at all of it. We really have to go at all of it.
I get what you're saying, Paul, but I used the 6ix9ine example or rappers in general. Right, 6ix9ine is a young white kid, right? But I guaranteed, he don't use that word around certain men. Yeah, his followers would even dare to use that word amongst certain men. So it shows what the BBC did. They were giving people license or indirect license to use that word. And the saddest thing about it, for me, is that we are talking about the words which was used and approved by the family, and we're not actually talking about the actual crime, what happened to that man. It's been taken away.
Because of this is what I was trying to explain before, because of the emphasis and the state change that word evokes. Yeah? So, like, quite right what you said there, Quincy. So we're ignoring the story and focusing on the word.
Slim.
I agree with you in that part of it trigger words and it's ingrained because they use it with everyone. It's not just us. All right, for the majority of British, their trigger word, white British, their trigger word is immigration. Say immigration to them. That's immigration. They won votes to get out of Europe by using the trigger word on them. Just immigration. They're like, nah, get out of this Europe shit. So you're right. They do use trigger words on people.
Trigger words to
get them
COVID.
to the point. Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah.
Trigger word.
Yeah.
They only have to flash that up and you start policing your neighbour.
It's so true.
I swear to God.
Maintenance.
So true.
CSA, they're trigger words.
CSA. Oh, I better hide these posters then. I'm doing really bad. I'm broke.
Oh, jeez.
I'm not making any
Listen.
money. Right. So, but you get my point is that, you know, from a linguistic point of view, and you guys are all linguistic, that's what you deal with. You're wordsmiths, you use words, right? You know the trigger word. Kane, when you stand on stage, you know that if you say a certain sequence, they're going to bust up. And so you hold that back for the right moment. You hold it back.
Yeah.
You understand, Quincy, you know, you hold it back, Stim. You hold it back, and then you know that when you release that, it's going to evoke a behavior, which is the laughter state that you want. I'm sorry to get technical on this Sunday morning, but we have to get technical when we talk about these words.
It's not technical, that's real.
Yeah, so when we are looking at words like the N-word, we have to get to a stage where these people can't... That's like, you know, the N-word is like a bullet. Yeah? It's like when they're ready to use it, they put it in their thing and they fire it deep into the community. And then that community gets distracted and starts spending weeks upon weeks talking about this N-word. But can you imagine getting to a state where the media knows that word doesn't affect you? They know it just doesn't affect you. Do you know what affects me more than that N-word? Is the media's use of popular culture to influence our young people's minds that crime is right. That's what worries me more. So you see that N-word?
What can we do to change the narrative, Paul? What can we do to change the narrative?
You see, I'm only one man, yeah? And like I keep saying to everybody I come across, you got one of these. You got to tell the stories that reflect us in a positive way. Because every time you see a police video, you know, or a beating video like that one we saw there, you have to address it and find out what the hell is going on. That's the only way you're going to change it. We're all public correspondents because we've all got our phones, we've all got our cameras, we've all got microphones. So we have to start, you know, about a year ago, I did a video and I said, we have to stop sharing negative media. We have to kill it. We have to go through YouTube as responsible adults and put in the comments or email YouTube and say, look, this is a misrepresentation of my people. And if millions of us do that, they will take the shit down. But we don't do it. What we do is, it's okay to listen to the N-word if a black guy is singing it in rap. But the minute a white guy says it, we're up in arms about it.
Yeah, but I get that. I'm saying this. There's just certain things. Why people can't use it? I mean, you can't use it. Don't use it. Don't say it.
Listen,
don't think it.
Empower them to use it. Dash the word away. Throw the word away. Fifth dimensional thinking, right? If you raise your vibration, things like that don't affect you. If your vibration is low and your self-esteem as a people is lower, is base, then those trigger words affect you. We all have to raise our vibration because we're naturally spiritual people. Those words are words. So you remember sticks and stones can break my bones, innit? But words will never hurt me. We have to go back to those days, man. If you pull out a stick on me and it hit me in the head, or you push my child, I'm gonna bust your face. But if I'm there with my child and somebody hurls out that word, I'm gonna teach him that, listen, you see that guy is ignorant. That's ignorance right there in front of you. That's ignorance. I'm not gonna teach him that every time you hear that word, you have to go and find a stick and bust a man's head. Because that's feeding into the exact narrative that they want. So when they put that bullet,
you have to use words.
When they put that bullet,
words to fight words.
You use words to fight words and sticks to fight sticks. You understand? So I often say this, right? In order to change anything, this is fifth dimensional. Sorry to keep going on about it, but my wife keeps saying, you operate from that level. You have to, right? It takes an idiot. It takes an idiot and an intellect to come up with a solution. It doesn't take two intellects. It takes the idiot to ask the intellect the one question that worries him, and the intellect answers that. That's how you come up with a solution. You don't come up with a solution with 100 people sitting in a room talking about the same thing. There's no solution there. Introduce the man that doesn't know anything. Tell me in one simple question, one simple answer, how we change the world. That's what gets the intellect thinking. And we do too much verbal gladiating. We're always talking, you know, and we're always getting distracted. And if you look at the planet at the moment, we are so distracted. Like I went to a march yesterday, protest in Tottenham.
Which one?
And there was like 1,000 people there. Yeah, there was like 1,000 people there, right? And I started to think to myself, and actually on the way there, I got hit off a car. A car hit me off the bike, mashed up myself, yeah? But I still went there to see...
Did he call you? Did he call you the N-word? Novice?
No, he called me a nincompoop. He said, "You nincompoop, come outside."
A different kind of, that's the worst kind of N-word, a nincompoop.
You know, listen, I felt, when he called me a nincompoop, I wanted to bust his head. He said, "What kind of word is that? I haven't heard that in 20 years, right?" But my point is this, right? So there's this protest of 1,000 people. And I was saying this on one of my breakfast shows a long time ago, that what we do now is going to be the reason that they start imposing sanctions on us. So they're talking about the black community is more susceptible to COVID, yeah? And that we cannot meet up in specific numbers. And yet the authorities allow 1,000 people to congregate with no social distancing or masks outside a police station. Pure cameras, pure helicopter. Every one of them have got a device on them to track that they were there, right? So I'm going to go out of the box on this because I know you guys got to get out of there. So if they know that we're all there, when it comes to this track and trace thing, they got your names in it already, that you didn't socially distance, so you may be a person that we need to come and check. That's the levels where I'm at. I'm not on the levels where the N-word offends me anyway. That doesn't do it. But what offends me is the overall agenda that introduces the N-word to distract us from looking at the bigger picture. That's my piece.
Well, listen, I just want to read a statement here for what the BBC actually said as regards to the particular situation. It reads, in response to nearly 24,000 complaints, the BBC said the victim's family were anxious the incident should be seen and understood by the wider public. It's for this reason they asked us specifically to show the photo of this man's injuries, and we're also determined that we should report the racist language in full, alleged to have been spoken by the occupants of the car. The BBC said the decision was taken independently of the victim's family's wishes and was made by a team of people, including a member of senior editorial figures. Now, that last part is a little bit confusing, but what do you think of the BBC investigating themselves? Starting with yourself, Paul.
You know, the BBC, they're all the same clans. They're all the same clans. They all talk the same language. You know, if you do your research, they're all told exactly what to say in headlines. They know they all read off of the same script. So the fact that the head of editorial made certain decisions to do it means that it was in collaboration with even higher authorities, and maybe those authorities are the ones that we should be addressing and asking why they made that decision to use that word, knowing that it's a trigger word. Does that make sense? They know it's a trigger word.
Yeah.
So
100%. This is the issue that I've got now, is that so many times you look, like we were talking about H&M when they had the little monkeying around.
The little jungle. Yeah.
And then you had the gollywog. Moncler had it on their coats. Gucci did the gollywog jumper. And it's like, is it because there's no black people at a certain level to say, what are you thinking? What's going on there? Or do you think it's done on purpose?
So that poster fall off the wall there. See that?
Or do you think all these things are done on purpose? Do you think all these things are done on purpose to get publicity? Or do you think it's ignorance? They just don't get it.
I think they fully get it. I think when you're talking about levels of media, I think when you're talking about celebrities that influence millions of people that seem to be silent, in general, I think they fully get it. To set up this Zoom, this incredible organization, just to set this up and make it run right. It's exactly what happens when these people join industries, or if you're part of a marketing campaign. You think that H&M didn't consider that? You think that there wasn't some black guy in H&M that said, hold on a minute, oh, that's a bit, you know? And yet they chose to run it, because actually what probably happened is, in some weird way, it promoted the name how they wanted it. And it promotes self. Now, let me take you. Yeah, so, right. So let me take you to another point, right? And we are talking as people and how symbols and words affect us. So symbols and words affect us, but yet us as a people are the biggest consumers from manufacturers that don't even give a shit about black people. And we wear the logos with pride, we wear the belts, we wear the sacks. This is what I'm talking about. When you think outside the box, those are unconscious triggers that keep us in slavery. They keep us enslaved. Because this man don't like you, but all of your expendable income, you're still going to give to him. You're not going to give it to the brother in the market who wears a dashiki. You're not going to do it, but you're going to give it to...
There's something really weird about the dynamic of how black people operate. Like, our money doesn't stay in our community for hardly any time. Hardly any time. Me and you might do business together, and I'll take the money I made from you and go and give it to Mr. Louis Vuitton or Mr. Gucci.
Yeah. Quick.
You understand?
But you'll even put some on top. Yeah, you'll even put some money on top. So I made a quick 5 bills. Let me just borrow a little 250 to buy a belt.
Yeah.
And take a picture of me in Harrods. You know, I was speaking to my son the other day. He said he went to Harrods with his brethren, and his brethren owns his own business. He spent £700 on a pair of jeans, Dad. I said to myself, is that how they've got us? £700 on a pair of jeans. And then you start thinking, is the real issue the N-word, or is the real issue the unconscious conditioning that's going on under the N-word? Because anybody that in their right mind that will go and spend £700 on a pair of jeans is not culturally in the right place. It's gone. And this is our young people. You know, so by fueling that popular culture, the average young person now believes that he needs to dress like his influencer. And so that's what promotes more crime. Because now when you go and buy the Ascot trainers, like I went out shopping yesterday with my youth, and I said to my little 10-year-old, I said, these are good, right? They said, no, those ain't good, Dad. Those ain't good.
That's child cruelty. That's child cruelty. You need to do time, man. If you try to put Ascot trainers on your son and send him out in the end, you need to do time, man. You need to do time. No, Paul, you're failing as a father.
Hear me out. He's only going to wear them 6 times because we're on lockdown, right? So it's a lockdown trainers. Yeah? So no, but he still want the other trainers. But my point is
really funny?
Yeah.
It was really funny. It's like, if I paid £700 for a pair of jeans, those jeans best grow with me. Like, literally, if I put on weight, it grows with me. As I lose weight, it grows. Listen, I've spent money on some clobber, but £700 for a pair of jeans. Those jeans best cook for me. Those jeans best bath me, massage me.
Spread their legs for you.
Yeah. Listen, them jeans best have a pom-pom in it.
Listen, can you imagine the scene though? Imagine the scene though. Listen, Quincy, imagine after your passing, yeah? The rest of your family, your sons are at the solicitors, and the solicitor says, good news. Your father looked after you. He really did. He left you 4 pairs of jeans. Just imagine that. He left you 4 pairs of jeans. God, he was a good man.
That's where we're heading. Where we ain't got nothing to leave our kids but the money that we spend. But it's funny because, what's his name? Cat Williams did a joke about his son where he was saying, you know, listen, I can buy these games all day, every day. I can buy it brand new. But this is the old one. I can buy a second-hand one, and it comes with 30 games. So he was basically saying, these kids, in their mind, they feel like their place in society is based on the things they have. It's nothing to do with what's inside here, not character.
Yeah. And that for me is more of a topic that we should start addressing instead of sweeping it under the carpet and saying, I saw him steer. Him like them trainers, I saw him steer. No, what you're doing is you're breeding somebody who is going to enter into the industry of spending without thinking. £700 for a pair of jeans, an ounce of gold will cost you £300 more. And that increases in value.
I just say this, I think that I would pay £700 for a pair of jeans, but my mindset is now, I would never wear them, and it'd be an investment. Like a guitar or something owned by somebody. So it's like in years to come, that £700 is going to triple in price because it's an original. Not like trainers. That's the only reason why I will buy £700 worth of a pair of jeans. Obviously, I'll take the pum-pum out of it. But
even with trainers, it's only because popular culture supports the value that we put on trainers. That's the only reason that a man would have a collection that he says is worth £2.5 million for crep. Yeah? That's the only reason is because popular culture feeds us all of that. Like, you must have, you know, your Air Force must be perfect white. If there's one little black thing on it, you need a new one.
Devalued.
That's
The
madness.
worst thing out of all of it, the worst thing out of all of this, as a community, black people, we're the ones who set the trend, you know? So we're the ones who make things stylish, we're the ones who make things popular. And then it's like now we've created this whole bubble, and all these Italians and all these other people are making money off of the back of us and promoting their thing. But
that's because they know.
When I was growing up, there was a shop called Probitos. Do you remember Probitos?
Yeah.
Where was it?
And if you go there, people was using the Probito bag as a bag, like every day. Everybody can see the shop of Probito, look. And it's mad. You understand? But it's mad when you look back and you think to yourself, that's what I was doing. You don't realize what you're doing, but it's about validation. You always feel like I'm somebody if I've got this, or I'm showing people, I'm showing the world this. There's enough man out there, you know, who out on the road, they got everything, but back in the house, they're renting. They ain't got nothing in their yard, no food in their cupboard. They might be living with family, but they've got £2,000 trainers on their phone.
They got 50. Listen, some of them have got £50,000 watch.
Mad.
Think about this. So while we focus on the N word, the bigger agenda is to increase the conditioning. Always to increase the conditioning, right? And let them distract themselves on the power of that N word, because that ties them up. And while they're tied up over there, while we protested with George Floyd and the whole BLM movement, none of us were conscious enough to actually look at the backstory of certain organizations that were supposed to be for us, innit? We never really looked at the backstory until one or two things started leaking out, and then all of a sudden people were like, really? And I always say, before I pick up a brick and throw it at a policeman, I've got to know that if I get caught and I'm doing a 10 stretch, it's justified. I don't want to throw the brick and then find out, shit, I threw the brick for someone. Oh my God. I want to throw the brick knowing, and this is why we have to research as a community more and understand that a lot of what's going on right now that keeps us where we are is something called victimhood. And the longer we believe we are victims, they can use that ammunition on us all day, every day. And at the same time, while using the ammunition, they'll take all the money out of our pocket for £700 jeans.
I just want to pick up on what you're saying there as regards to victims. I just want to move things on now to somebody who doesn't want to be a victim. In fact, he knows his value and he wants to look at himself as somebody who wants to make a change. We're talking about the action and defense of BBC One Extra DJ Sideman, who after finding out what his bosses at the BBC have decided to do with the N-word, this is what he decided to do.
I've thought long and hard about what I'm about to say and what it means, and on this occasion I just don't think that I can look the other way. We live in a world that needs to change, systems that need to change, organizations that need to change. And as a person that believes that change can happen and wanting change to happen, I understand transition. I understand it's not something that's going to happen overnight, that there will need to be a lot of learning and unlearning and tearing down of certain building blocks of our society that took a long time to build up. So I'm okay with process. I'm okay with waiting within reason for certain things to change. But the BBC sanctioning the N-word being said on national television by a white person is something that I can't rock with. This is an error in judgment where I can't just smile with you through the process and act like everything is okay. I'm happy working with organizations until we all get it right, but this feels like more than getting it wrong. The action and the defense of the action feels like a slap in the face of our community. That's why, effective immediately, I'm leaving my job as a radio broadcaster for BBC One Extra. With no apology, I just don't feel comfortable being aligned with the organization. I've loved my time there. I've got to work with some amazing people and made some lifelong friends and had great opportunities. But money and opportunity doesn't outweigh the dissatisfaction that I feel with this situation. This is wild to me, especially in the current social climate, and I can't make any sense of it no matter how much I think about it. So I think it's time that I left.
Okay, so obviously that was Sideman, who recently resigned from BBC One Extra as regards to the BBC's stance on the N-word. What do you think about that? What's your thoughts, Slim?
Boy, you know, he stood by what he believed in. Do you know what I mean? And it would be hard if at your workplace you felt that that word could be used. I don't think anyone want to stay in a workplace. Because he did say he made a lot of friends, he enjoyed the work, but yeah, I like how he said it. I can't sit down smiling like everything's all right. He ain't got that temperament in him. So, well done on behalf of him.
Okay, so look, we could talk to you all day, Paul. Thank you for dropping those those bits of knowledge on us. It's at this point we want to say goodbye to him. Big round of applause for Paul. Thank you, Paul. All the best with Foam.
Thanks, man.
Thank you so much for joining us, man. All the best with it. And yeah, please, if you haven't seen his wonderful platform that he's doing, Foam, Freedom of Adverse Media, please go and check it out. Quincy.
I have got my radio program in conversation with various people. I will be touching on the locks and the Sideman story, and most importantly, just having a debate as we're doing today. So that's what I'll be doing on Supreme. Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays and Fridays.
Cool, cool, cool. Kane, what you got for us this week, bro?
I'm doing my Insta Live on Wednesday at 9:30. I will also be talking about the Sideman thing as well. I think it's really important to kind of keep it in the public's consciousness. I don't want it to be a story that just disappears overnight because something else comes up. I think what he did was amazing. I can only commend him and applaud him. So yeah. So that's what I'll be doing this week.
Definitely. And finally, Slim, what you got this week, my brother?
Usual, just working, man. Do you know what I mean? That's what we do. We just here working. And I'm trying to stay fit as well, bro. I told you. I've ordered some more gym equipment, so we'll see how that goes. It'll either kill me or put some muscle on me.
Yeah, coming out of lockdown looking like Richard Blackwood. Big up yourself, bro. I'm going to stay skinny same way. So it just leaves me to say goodbye, and I want to say a big thank you to everyone for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Remember, we're nothing without your support. Before we leave, we want to say a big shout out to the people, the wonderful people of Mauritius. They're dealing with a serious environmental crisis at the moment, and it's a reminder to not only take care of each other, but the world around you. See you next week, same time, same place. #ComedyTV.